Do you have a personal motto? We're going to talk about that in a minute as part of the Get Up and Go Challenge preliminary leading up to tomorrow. It's already tomorrow, August 1st through August 31st. We're doing a 30-day, 31 days, bonus day, 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge. Get up and go. What the heck does that mean? It means get your rearing gear. Get moving. Stop waiting for your life and make it happen for you. Guess what? Nobody else is going to do it for you. I think we talked about that a couple of days ago. So today we're going to talk about personal mottos to get us ready for the Get Up and Go Challenge, to get us ready for 30 days that I guarantee will change your life for the better if you do it, if you participate with us, if you show up, if you watch the less than 10-minute video a day. I'm making myself go 10 minutes or less every day in the month of August. Why? Because I'm a mouthy little gal. I could talk for probably an hour to 3 hours on almost any topic that you give me. I could just go off on it because I'm full of it, right? And I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that this is a doable, guaranteed to get you the results you need in days to move forward, to keep moving forward and making progress in your life. That's what the challenge is all about. It's about you getting what you want and seeing that you can totally and massively impact the results in any area of your life or in all the areas of your life in as short a period as 30 days. You know, people do 5-day challenges. I do 5-day challenges. We do 10-day challenges. We do 21-day challenges. We do them to give people a quick taste of what is possible and to get a teeny tiny result really, really quickly if they just follow one step every day. But I know, and you know, and even though we could talk about the 21 days to make a new habit, which is complete and utter nonsense, by the way. It's different for each and every one of us. Some of us can decide, I'm going to start a new habit today, and we can go cold turkey, and we can just make that habit a part of the rest of our life. Other people might practice and try things for years or even a year, and it still isn't a habit. It's not ingrained in them, and it just doesn't become automatic. Each of us have our own different automation clock, I guess, where what works for us, what clicks and what doesn't, is different for each of us. The 21-day thing actually came from I'll talk about that later, but from Dennis Waitley I learned where that really came from. And I always was skeptical about it, and I wondered why I was skeptical about the 21-day thing, but it was one of those things that gets written by one person or said by one speaker, and then a lot of other people pick up on it, and pretty soon groupthink sets in, and everybody takes it as fact when it's not even founded in science or fact or anything. It's just something that one person said in a topic and with respect to a different topic, and all of a sudden it's 21 days to form a new habit, and everybody got sucked in and believed it. That's why I always say think for yourself, because just because you hear it or see it or read it doesn't mean it's true for you. Okay, rant over. Today, do you have a personal motto? Why would you want a personal motto? What even is a personal motto, and what does it have to do with anything? Why is that one of the biggest lessons, Sharon, that you have learned in your 60 years of life? Well, my personal motto is, do you want me to share it with you first, or do you want me to tell you the story of how I decided I had a personal motto? All right, I can't hear you, I can't see you, because it's really early in the morning and most people aren't even up yet. My personal motto came out of my sudden cardiac arrest, my death experience, my life experience. In 2010, September, day after Labor Day, I dropped dead on the floor in one of my businesses. I was leaving a city council meeting, long story, don't need to get into all of it, but basically I had a sudden cardiac arrest right in front of the bathroom door, and when the bartender came out, he had to step over me, and he's like, what's going on? He realized I wasn't breathing, did, what's it called? First responder training. Okay, well anyway, he saved my life until the paramedics could get there. Paramedics got there, they jump-started me with a defibrillator from the police car. Luckily, the police car that arrived had a defibrillator in it. Jump-started me, got me going. Then, you know, spent a bunch of time in cardiac rehab after being in a coma and frozen and all of this. And after that experience, I realized I had to make some massive changes in my life. You know, hopefully nobody that's watching this will ever have an experience like that, a death experience where your life just shuts down. Although I will admit now it was an absolutely positively huge blessing, because it gave me the opportunity to totally reset my life and go in the direction I should have been going in the first place, but I wasn't smart enough to figure that out because I was so busy running through my life. But that event, literally a heart-stopping event, stopped me in my tracks and gave me the opportunity to say no to all the things that I'd been saying yes to that weren't working for me. No to my relationship, no to my businesses, no to just a lot of stuff, a lot of habits that I had formed that were bad habits, bad for me physically, like not taking care of myself, not sleeping, things like that. And out of that, I've spent 10 years now learning and understanding and researching and trying to figure out how I work, right? I could say how humans tick, but I wasn't trying to figure out how everybody else worked and what things meant to them. I would have been selfishly trying to figure out how I work, how I as a human being work, what's working for me, what's not, what I've heard for decades, but I've never listened to and paid attention to and made adjustments for in my life. And one of those was the primary question knowledge that I gained from Tony Robbins, 35 years ago or so, about we all have a primary overriding question that we run in our heads and run through our subconscious brain like thousands of times a day. And it might be, well, why does this never work out for me? Or how come this is this way? And usually we might not be consciously aware of our question, but the people around us are. They're very aware of it. For example, my primary question when I was in the hospital, my sisters and my mom were laying bets on what my first words were going to be. And of course, my second sister called it and knew that WTF was my primary question, and that as soon as I opened my mouth, the first thing I was going to say, because they were assuming I would wake up, was, what the F? You know what F means, right? The F word. So that's what I said. That was my primary question. And out of this primary question, one of the first things I did is I was getting better, and I had lots of time on my hands in rehab, cardiac rehab, not rehab. So I was studying and looking and learning and asking myself, well, what are some things I've known and learned in the past that I heard, but I didn't really apply. I didn't really use. Oh, I know that because I've heard that before, because I've heard it 6 or 7 times before, but I've never actually done it. Have you ever done that? You've heard something over and over and over again, and all of a sudden a new person says it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. And then you realize as you're doing it, oh my gosh, I've heard this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 35 years ago, yet I didn't actually learn it and apply it. We can hear things and learn things, and we can get trained, but until we apply that training and take action on it, it's worth nothing. All the knowledge in our head, all the brain in our heads is worth nothing if we don't use it to create the lives that we want. So the primary question discussion led me to core values work, and what are my principles, what are my beliefs, what are my feelings, what are my core values. I think we talked about core values a little bit in the last couple of days, and we'll talk about it more, but what do I stand for? And what do I stand for? If I'm asking, what do I stand for? What's really, really important to me? What are my priorities? How and why do I have those? And are they really my priorities, or just something that's been handed down from generation to generation? Or are they what I really feel strongly about? And out of all of that, I kept finding myself, and over the years I found myself coming back to the same phrase and the same thing that I've actually believed all along, but I wasn't always acting upon. And that was what I call, I don't know what this is the right term, but I call it like my personal motto. It's the words that I thrive and strive to live by at all times. And for me, it's going to be different than it is for you and for anybody else on the planet. My motto, my personal motto, is be loving, love being, be you, with capital letters. And that's because, and it means a lot. In those 6 words, that means everything to me. That phrase creates the essence of who I am and what I want to do and be and have, and how I want to show up in the world. And maybe if anybody's curious, I could break that down for people and explain it in more detail. But that is my motto: be loving, love being, be you. Because I found that one of the main lessons I needed to learn in my life was I was not being myself. Guess what? I was comparing myself to other people. I was doing everything that I thought I should do to be a successful mom, a successful business owner, a successful wife, a successful whatever. And it wasn't based on my definition of success. It was other people's definition of success. It was, what do most people think success is? Those were the things I was striving for, whether I believed it or not, whether I wanted it or not. You know, you got to have the big house, the big cars, the fancy watches, the fancy clothes, the fancy experiences. And you know what? I don't really care two whits about 98% of that. 98% of that I couldn't care less about. So that became my motto, is I realized I wasn't being myself, and in order to find true happiness for me, I have to be able to just show up as who I am and be myself. And so that's why be you became very, very important to me. And, you know, be loving, love being, you know, treat other people the way you want to be treated. I think I talked about the golden rule maybe yesterday. But that is it. That's my personal motto. So I'm curious, do you have an overriding principle or personal motto that you live by? Do you have a primary question? Oh, alarm again. Do you know what your primary question is? I would say during the challenge, one of the activities that we will do, and I'm just thinking that now out loud, is we will really do, one of the days will be about your primary question and think about what your primary question is. So just share in the comments below today, do you have a personal motto that you crunched down to the essence of who you are, what you stand for, and that's kind of like your primary question, but it's bigger than that. It encompasses much more. Do you have a personal motto, yes or no? And if you're really, really brave, share your personal motto below. That's it. Have an amazing day, and I will be with you tomorrow for the start of our 30-day Get Up and Go challenge. I'm getting really excited. I'm super excited. My biggest challenge is going to be being quiet and keeping it to 10 minutes or less a day. That's going to be my challenge. I should probably think of a penalty, so if I'm over 10 minutes, I have to do something. I'll think of that today. If you have suggestions for that, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Get excited about what you're going to be able to accomplish in the next 30 days. You, I guarantee, are going to surprise yourself on how much progress you can make in a short period of time, in just days, not years. All right. Bye. See you tomorrow.